hear you. I'm good.
How's
We
my
good.
volume though? Because I got my
Oh,
earpiece in. Should I take it out?
nah, they be Swizz is tuned in. No. You perfect. You know, they be clout chasing me, my friends and my family. So when I got somebody big like you on, they start calling the phone. And once they
Right.
start calling the phone, they want me to scream at them or something. Anything to get they say their name on the jump off. So I went and bought a side phone that I don't even have the number to, just to
Oh.
interview you because you're such a big deal. How you
Listen,
doing, my sister? Album
brother,
is phenomenal.
man, brother, I'm so happy to talk to you. I've been waiting to talk to you. I couldn't wait for this day.
Let me tell you something. I went to San Francisco. The plane was doing. I'm terrified of planes.
You know, you look like you might be terrified of planes.
No, like I jump on the old lady when it shakes. Like
Oh.
I might cripple an old lady, but I'm terrified of planes. But I listened to your album. It was a double album. And the first thing I was saying is like, yo, it's so much work.
Yeah,
like two albums.
It is a lot of work. Did you ever do a double album? Because I did my first one.
That's too much work. I was not, because I was like, I mean, no disrespect. I was like, damn, it's more songs, it's more songs. And it was like, that's a lot of work. What made you want to do a double album this time?
Well, you know, the concept of the album is that it's really only about 12 songs, but there's the first side is called the originals, and that one is super broken down piano, all about the pen, the music, the soulful, that energy right there.
That true Alicia Keys fan.
Original AK right there. And then the other side is the one that I sampled. We wanted to sample the originals and create a whole other version. So me and Mike Will sampled the originals and created the unlocked version. So even though you feel like you're hearing another you're just hearing another version of what you heard on the originals. And so that's what makes it feel so fresh, is because it just sonically it's a mind.
Now I'm gonna say I went to the show in the Apollo.
Yes.
I sat up a deck like a normal citizen. I was up a deck.
That's where the kings stay.
Me, my wife, and no. Not the you know how they got the little
things
the
on
little
the side.
No, you know they got the mezzanine, not there. The regular upper deck. You know the Apollo got the little where the kings. We was up a upper deck.
You feeling
like
you
so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Me, my wife, and Terrellish, my stylist. We enjoyed, and Jamie. So Jamie was in the building, and so we enjoyed the show so much, and that's where I saw the original, the unlocked version.
Yes.
And it was just a beautiful night.
Oh my God.
Did they tell you I was in there like they tell you Prince is in there?
Yeah, it was like Alicia, you know, who just walked in the door. I was like, who? They was like, Joe, he's in here. You can start the show now. I was like, okay.
Yo, Lisa, I was on my Harlem shit. I had a dancing on. I was on my real Harlem shit. Like, yo, I was up in there like, you know, that shit was crazy.
No, it was nuts. And then Jada came out with, and I
Suited up,
and I just
played, we
gonna make it on the piano. It was really, really crazy.
No, it was a beautiful, and you know what? You put me on that night to that guy Lucky Day, and I've been following him ever since. His music, this guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, Lucky is a monster. He, you know, we wrote a song together called "Come For Me." Me, Lucky, and Khalid are on that record, and I didn't realize that Lucky has such like a Michael. He has this voice on him that's really, really, really fresh. So he's definitely to be looked out for.
And he's six-packed up. He's
I ain't seen
six-packed.
What
Let me tell you, he came out with you with some baggy clothes.
Okay.
Then I went to the Soul Train Award, and that boy came out naked.
He was like,
I got when he came out, they said, Lucky Day, I'm looking for the baggy. It looked like he wearing Fat Joe and Big Pun clothes at your show. And then the man came out naked, six-packed up the next time. I said, damn.
You was like, what happened? I don't know. Because I was like, how do you know?
It was a lucky day for them ladies, let me tell you.
It's a lucky day.
One thing that sticks out the most in the universe is somebody that we all look up to. somebody who's incredible, is Miss Sade, right? And we love her. Man, I was hustling in the streets pumping Sade. Like,
oh my God.
Like, it's like, she's like, but the thing is, she doesn't let anyone sample her. How did you get this approved? How do you go by clearing this? I need this step by step, because if people don't understand that Sade does not clear samples. But I mean, I've heard the biggest artist on the planet Earth trying to clear Sade and she wouldn't do it. How did you get the permission?
I have to say, you know, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, Sade is my big sister in my head. Like, even that's how I look at her. She is my big sister. Nobody can't tell me nothing. Like, we're related. That's how I feel about Sade, right? So we actually connected some years ago. She did my Black Ball. I used to do something called the Black Ball every year, which was for my organization, Keep a Child Alive. And we do a beautiful performance, and there'd be really special people that would join me on the stage. One day I invited her to come to the Black Ball. I figured she would definitely tell me no. And she pulled up. So since that moment, we were able to connect and keep in touch. And, you know, Sade is a fairy. She's a fairy. Like, you text her. I do text Sade.
I would text Sade if I had a number. Let me tell you something. I love Sade so much. I seen her perform one time, and I had my suit on. My wife was fly. We was in Miami. We was like, I mean, I was front row.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, shout out Tom Joyner. He was at that show, Legendary Radio. And we was, and her band saw me, and they start doing like the lean back.
Hey, no.
But now, Alicia, I was so nervous. I knew I could have, to go back there and ask for a picture, that I left so disappointed, because I really wanted that pic.
I know. You know how when you're trying to be nice and you feel nervous, and then you don't do it, and you regret it for the rest of your life? I
regret that for the rest of my life. And I still haven't been able to see Sade anywhere.
No, you don't. She's a fairy. That's what I'm telling you. She disappears. She's on her own plane. She owns her own universe. She descends down from the universe and comes to sometimes talk to us, but most of the time you can't find her. So let me tell you the story. So I was able to connect with her since that point, and I always check in with her, and I always send love, and we just talk, and you know, I send her super blessings, and if I'm going to be in the area, we can, you know, we connect if we can. And so I put together this song, Best of Me, and for a second I was going to call it an ode to Sade, because I feel like that's how I honor and respect her, like this tone, this style, this energy. And I was at the Apollo, and I heard doom doom. I told my wife, yo, she sampled Sade, doom doom. I heard the bells. I was like, yo, like, Dad, I'm sorry, Alicia. It's too important, man. So I, you know, I text her, and I said that there's a song that I'm working on. I really want you to hear. It's inspired by how much I adore you, you know. And she's so generous, and she's so kind. And said something like, you know, how lucky am I? That's what she said. Something beautiful like that. So I'm melting, because this is my big sister in my head, and she's like loving on me, right? So she said, you know, send it along. So, you know, I finished it all up. It took me some weeks. I just wanted to make it perfect for her. I wanted her to hear it exactly how I wanted her to hear it. And so I send it to her, and, you know, I don't hear anything for a couple of days, because she's on her own universe planet. So it's okay. I know it takes a little bit of time and stuff like that. She finally hits me back, and she's like, me and the band, you know, we're rehearsing, and we're in the studio working on some new stuff. So first of all, I can't wait for that. And she was like, you know, I really, this sounds so beautiful. She asked me some of the lyrics.
One second, Alicia. Sade is back in the studio.
I believe
this is what we call a Joker moment on this show. This is a Joker moment where you heard it first here. She's back in the studio. Again, I'm sorry, Alicia. Continue.
Listen, we can't wait. We can't wait to hear everything that she's cooking up. Come on, she is majesty. So she says, you know, I love it. She asked me about some of the lyrics. I was, you know, sharing with her about the lyrics. you know, gave her some space, just was checking in, asking her how the studio was going, how she feeling, all the good stuff. And I said, you know, I would love for this song to be on my next record, and I would love your blessings, you know. So I'm like, let's see what happens, because we know.
You threw it out there. Was you nervous before you asked? Was you nervous? Because you know she don't clear nothing. You knew that.
You know, I did know that she's definitely, and I understand, because this is one of my all-time favorite records, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
So I understand. And so she came back, and she was like, first of all, she was like, I can't believe you already have another record. Like, dang, what's going on with you, genius? She was just so sweet. I said, you the genius. And she was like, you know what? I love the record, and you have my blessings, and I hope you're happy. And I was like, in my room, jumping up and down like a crazy person, screaming at the top of my lungs like a 3-year-old kid. That's what happened in that.
Yo, Alicia, she fucks with you, bro.
Wow.
Like, let me tell you, people don't understand that this industry, there's artists that they don't care about money. They don't care about, they just so sensitive with the music, with everything. Sade's one of them. So for her to say, I'm happy for you, is she loved the song, but at the same time, she loves Alicia.
Yo, when I tell you that, it was almost like, it was like when I tell you she's my big sister in my head, it was like the person you admire the most, like co-signing you in a way that just like 1,000,000%. I can't even tell you what it did to.
No, I know what it feels like.
You know what I mean?
I know KRS, I know LL. Those are my idols.
Right.
I get around them. I said, you know, when KRS did the verses, we walked them into the ring, Terror Squad. Do you know what the hell that felt like?
No, I felt
walking in our master. This is the guy we worship, and he's going to battle. And even though we love Kane, don't get that messed up. But walking him to the battle, walking through the tunnel with KRS One, I dreamed of this shit my whole life.
Oh my God.
You know, and when I'm introducing him, the man hugs me on stage in front of the stadium. I'm like,
did you cry?
Boom!
Joe, did you shed a bit of a tear? It's okay. I need you to share with us that you might have.
I never shed a tear. You know, I'm a man's man, Alicia.
Hey.
Listen.
Men's men cry, Joe.
I know, but not for that.
Cut the shit.
No, not for that. But I was beyond grateful. Yeah. And, you know, KRS is my mentor. And LL Cool J. I got, you know, and both of them have been special in my life. One time I threw a birthday party in the Bronx. And it was Biggie was there, Puff was there. Everybody you can name was there. It was the Hood, Fat Joe. This is Flo Joe time.
Oh.
And I had just met LL, and I was like, yo, I'm throwing a party in the Bronx. And you know, LL, no disrespect to LL, he was like the little Bow Wow. He was like Justin Bieber. He was somebody you never seen. You never seen LL Cool J when he was on fire. I need love. You just never. Right. So I met him the one time and shot my shot. Like, yo, I got my birthday party. The man, 2 in the morning, KRS One's performing. All of a sudden, you hear nothing but girls scream. Ah! And all I see is a red baseball cap. And next thing you know, LL Cool J walks up on stage. At that moment, I could have died. At that moment, having KRS and LL at the same time, I could have died right there. Like that was it.
At the party? They were both
at my birthday party. But I mean, like in 93, 94, Flo Joe.
That's crazy.
I blew my mind. Let me ask you a question that I've been meaning to ask, right? Is there such thing, right, of becoming too big of a superstar? Like, we only mention, I'm going to tell you, Alicia, we only mention your name. I'm going to just keep it a buck. We only mention your name with Beyonce and Rihanna. Rihanna's in there, right? So, like, I think if you're a crown prince of something and you want to pay somebody $10 million to perform, it's either Alicia, Beyonce, or Rihanna. No,
crown
No.
prince or something.
Is there such thing as being too big to the point of where you feel maybe you don't have street credibility? Is there something like that?
I feel like your head could get too big. You know what I mean? I feel like your perspective can get off, and you can forget the truth, and you can forget the real, and you can feel like somehow there's some hierarchy that's fake and not real. So I think that happens to some people. I'm definitely, you know, I am as real as they come. There's nobody realer than me, not even the names you said to me. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? And I respect both of those ladies greatly. But to me, I feel like there's a certain genuine honesty and realness that I'll always have. I always, always, always will. So I do think that you can get to a place where your head can get out of control, or your perspective gets confused, and you forget what you already knew, you know. And I think
Or
that
even you, like I often tell, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I often tell, like, Khaled, you know, Khaled has like a ton of security, right? And it's not his fault. One day we on vacation in Turks and Caicos, and I convinced him. I was in the water with Khaled, just me and him, in the middle.
chilling.
You know how that shit is empty. And I said, yo, Khaled, you're like fucking ultra famous, bro. Like, you cannot, you have to have the best security ever met, because, you know, Selena got killed by her fan. So, you know, it's at, is there a point where you can you go to Melba's in Harlem and have a meal in peace? Will they let you eat the oxtail in Melba's?
I don't eat oxtail, but let me tell you, there is, I can go anywhere, and there is genuine, pure love and respect. One thing that Swizzy and I say all the time, we can walk down any street, and that is a genuine, pure love, and we return that love just as equally. We're not over here having to go, you know, we are right where we belong. You know what I mean? So yes, I can go into Melba's, I can go anywhere, sit down at the table. Will people come say hello? Yes, I say hello back. Most people will give me space to eat and chill, and then we connect, and it's a vibe. It's like, it's just real.
You know,
real
because that's the
shit.
only thing that gets me mad. Like, fat people, we don't like people taking pictures of us eating without permission. We just don't. It's a fact. Fat people don't want nobody taking their picture in the restaurant eating some chicken wings or some collard greens. Like, we don't want the pic right there. Ask me after, and I'll take a million pictures with you. But that is like
No, that's
invasion.
just ethics. Yeah, that's just like general protocol. General protocol is a person's eating, you let them eat, and then, you know, you connect with them after they eat. It's okay.
Now, your husband.
Yes.
One of my longtime greatest friends. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if I gave it to you or I didn't, but he was on me when he first got with you, because purple's your favorite color. He wanted my billionaire frames. This man was harassing me to give them to you.
Wow.
Did I ever give it to you?
I definitely feel like I got a pair of purple.
So they're mine. They're mine. They're mine. I gave them to you. No, I'm telling you, this man was on my ass. Because when you first met him, you bought him some kind of bike. What was the bike? You bought him a bike. And he was like, yo, bro, she bought me this beautiful bike. It was like a bike. I don't know what kind of bike. To him, it was special.
Okay, now there's been a lot of special things since we love to spoil each other.
I see the special things. Yo, Alicia, I see you're very humble. You're very modest. But I know, I don't know if you know that I know Swizz is laughing. I see it. He sends me shit and says, don't post it. Don't. I mean, you know, I see, yo, man, he came to my birthday party, right?
Oh, yeah, the one recently?
Yes. He came to my birthday party. Wish you were there, but next summer we're going to do it even bigger.
Let's do it again.
All right. And you got to come, because everybody comes. So it's a thing. So he sends me a picture of like a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. Nobody will believe me. They'll think I'm lying. He has a picture where the seat is in the middle. The car's like $3 million. He says, bro, this is what I want to pull up. I said, please don't pull up in that shit.
Don't.
Because you're going to shut down the whole fucking party. Like, don't do it. Don't come in that shit. They're not ready to see that in New York City. They're not ready to see that vehicle in do not pull up in that shit.
Right.
And,
right. You had to stop him?
No, I stopped him.
Right.
But he still, you seen him, he came in that green Lucky Charms. He looked like a motherfucking bag of gold. He came up in that shit. And you know, I had my Hermes blue. But he came
good.
up in there.
Y'all both look good.
Yo, listen, Alicia, that boy came with that Lucky Charms shit. Like I said, damn man, my brother looking fly.
Yeah, you know you fresh when you can pull off the Lucky Charms green.
Lucky Charm, bro.
Okay.
He looked like fucking pots of gold was flying over him. How proud of you are of your husband with this Verzuz thing. You know, out of disruption, and out of bad times, something beautiful always, you know, like a rose from the concrete. I mean, this Verzuz got us through the worst time in 100 years, a pandemic. How proud are you of Swizz Beatz?
Listen, he is beyond. His mind works in a stratosphere that honestly nobody can touch. It's just like he's so genuine about it. It's always so natural. He's not sitting here trying to do something. It's happening because he really loves it, because it happened to him. You know, him and Tim literally, just because everyone was bored as fuck, got on the IG and been wanting to do a battle for a minute. You know, he's done battles since Summer Jam. He'll bring out people, and you know, it's hip hop, right? So he's always done that. And because they were so bored, they got on IG and did that battle. I remember I came downstairs and he was like, oh, I'm on IG with Tim, and I was like, let me not go over there before he puts me on camera. I'm in my bedclothes, like nah. And next thing I know, he's not in the house anymore. He's up the block because they lost reception and they're battling on IG. And I'm in the bed sleep, and he came home like, you're never gonna believe what happened. And he told me what happened, and literally that was the birth of Verzuz. And so anyway, he's incredible. Like, for real, his mind is just so expansive. The way that there's no limits for him. Like, he doesn't see that there's a ceiling anyway. In fact, somehow I'm asking him like, babe, do you know that, like, I don't know if that's gonna happen. He's like, why? Why can't it happen? Like, why is it not going to happen? And he's so clear about what he's going to manifest that he does. It's incredible. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of Verzuz. Verzuz is out of control.
That thing is amazing. And it's a different type of butterflies, anxiety, you know, because everything is cool. But when you get up in there, even though it's your best friend, right, it's like you're fighting for your legacy. And and I know for a fact, when Auntie Shaka, she got a little, I knew that was like she was trying to kill the nerves, but killed it too much. Because
it's a big it's big. It's potentially, I mean, it's bigger than the Garden. It's bigger than O2 Stadium. It's big. There's
millions of people. We had
watching at one
me
time.
and Jai had 2.2 million people watching at the same time. Like,
crazy.
That's some big shit. Like, if you count Madison Square Garden, 30,000 people, 10, 20, 30, like, it's some shit.
Crazy. No, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Which is saying everybody, everybody's the owner of Verzuz, so all the artists.
Exactly.
That was an amazing thing. And, you know, for years we had people taking advantage of our legends and our owners. And so now what Swizz and Tim did, giving stocks to the artists for sure. I got a couple stocks in Verzuz.
Verzuz. It's a beautiful thing. He's always about by the artists, for the artists, with the people. Like, he's always about that. That's what everything that he creates is about. So it's a beautiful thing, man. People don't think like that. People don't think like that.
I think like that, but I think that might be a Bronx thing.
It could.
Might
you know what?
Because you know he's from the BX. Don't ever get it. I know y'all in that Iron Man crib over there, but remember we from. You know, your godmother is Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Your mom's and her. What's her name? What was the dynamic?
Oh, that's so sweet. You asked me about her. That means so much to me. In fact, tonight, I'm performing one of my songs from Keys called "Old Memories" on The Voice, and I actually have these beautiful frames of both my grandmother, who is super, super dear to me, and my godmother. She was another one that I lost that is extremely important to me. I was named after her. Her name was Alicia, and so
Alicia.
my name is actually Alicia, but I made it Alicia just so people could like understand. And so she and my mother and her met the very first when my mother first moved to New York. They both went to school together, and she's been in my life since before I was born. She was always bendición. She made me say bendición,
Bendición.
bendición,
Dios te
bendición all the time.
bendiga. All that.
Yes.
And what's crazy is my godbrother Terrell, his mother and my mother grew up. My mother's Puerto Rican and his mother's black. Well, he's black. And we used to be together. Like, he's black. Terrell's black. And so we would be together, and he'd be like, "Yo, that's my brother," and I'd be like, "Yo, that's my brother." And people be looking like, "What the hell is this?" But he's my brother,
yeah,
and I'm his brother. And it's just amazing. So your mother and your godmother were singing stuff like, "I will survive." Oh, no, get out that door. They was doing that thing together, huh?
Listen, they were each other's rocks for sure. They were in college together. They were the baddies together. They were modeling together. They were running the New York streets together. They were, in all the New York clubs together. My mother was she's an actress. So she was, fighting for Broadway and theater. And it was all this, real New York culture that they were submersed in, and that I was